In the heart of the savannah lies a secret world where animals are more than they appear. When the moon is full and the winds whisper ancient tales, the beasts of the bush transform, shedding fur and scales to walk among humans as one of their own. Our story follows Quito, a proud and cunning lion, king of the bush, who is both feared and respected by the animals. His transformation into a human is as majestic as his roar, with golden eyes that hold the wisdom of the wild. Next we meet Zuri, the clever and quick-witted hare. As a human, she retains her sharp instincts, always 2 steps ahead, with a mischievous smile that hides her true intentions. Then there is Jabari, the mighty elephant, whose gentle nature as a human belies the strength and memory of a creature who has witnessed the changing world for generations. His deep, booming voice carries the weight of the traditions he holds dear. Finally, we encounter Amani, the graceful gazelle, whose beauty as a human captivates all who meet her. But behind those kind eyes lies a heart torn between the wild she loves and the human world she's beginning to understand. The village they venture into is vibrant and bustling, filled with colorful markets and the sounds of life. The villagers are unaware of the beasts among them, but they are a community bound by tradition, wary of outsiders, and quick to judge those who do not belong. As the animals turned humans begin to interact with the villagers, they are faced with the complexities of human life. Quito becomes intoxicated with the power he holds as a human, using his newfound influence to control the marketplace, demanding respect from the villagers just as he does in the bush. But his arrogance leads to conflict, as the villagers begin to suspect that something is not right with the newcomer who seems to know too much and fear too little. Zuri, always the trickster, begins to play dangerous games, using her wit to outsmart the villagers and gain their trust, only to betray them when it suits her. But her actions soon have consequences, as her tricks begin to unravel the delicate balance between the animals and the humans, leading to a betrayal that cuts deeper than any wound. Jabari struggles with the loss of his connection to the earth. The traditions that once guided him now seem distant as he is drawn into the human way of life. But as the conflict between the animals and villagers escalates, Jabari finds himself torn between his loyalty to the wild and the new bonds he has formed in the village. His decision will determine the fate of both worlds. Amani finds herself drawn to a young villager, Mwangi, whose kindness and understanding make her question everything she knows about the divide between animals and humans. But as the tension rises, she must choose between the love she feels and the loyalty she owes to her own kind. The story reaches its climax when the villagers, driven by fear and suspicion, confront the animals in their human form. The once peaceful village erupts into chaos as truths are revealed, and the delicate balance between the wild and the human world is shattered. In the aftermath, the animals must decide whether to return to the bush or stay in the village, knowing that nothing will ever be the same. Quito learns the hard way that power in the human world is fleeting, and that respect must be earned, not taken. Zuri faces the consequences of her betrayal, understanding that trust, once broken, is difficult to mend. Jabari finds a way to honor his traditions while embracing the new, and Amani discovers that love can bridge even the deepest divides. As the moon wanes and the animals return to their true forms, the village is forever changed, left with the memory of a time when the wild walked among them, and the line between beast and human was blurred. Quito's fierce pride will be tested as he faces challenges from both the village elders who see through his facade and other animals who envy his position. His relationship with Zuri will become strained as her tricks begin to have unintended consequences, pushing their long-standing alliance to its breaking point. Will Quito learn humility before it's too late, or will his thirst for dominance lead him down a path of no return? Zuri's cleverness has always been her greatest strength, but as she grows closer to the villagers she deceives, she starts to see them as more than just pawns in her games. When one of her tricks puts the entire village at risk, she'll be forced to confront the cost of her actions. Can Zuri find a way to make amends, or will she remain the trickster, always on the run from the consequences of her schemes? Jabari's struggle is one of the heart. The village reminds him of the old ways he was taught to respect, but he also sees the value in change and adaptation. His deep bond with the village's wise elder, Nia, a woman who senses there is more to him than meets the eye, will lead him to a crossroads. Will Jabari find a way to honor his past while embracing the future, or will he be crushed under the weight of his own indecision? Amani and Mwangi's relationship will be the heart of the story, a delicate dance between love and duty. As Amani becomes more human in her emotions, she must decide whether to follow her heart or stay true to her kind. Their love will be tested by the growing conflict between the villagers and the beasts, forcing Amani to choose between two worlds. Will love conquer all, or will the divide between beast and human prove too great? As the animals navigate the complexities of human life, new conflicts will arise. The villagers, led by the ambitious and cunning Chief Baraka, will begin to suspect the truth behind the mysterious newcomers. As tensions escalate, Chief Baraka will stop at nothing to expose the beasts for what they truly are, believing that their presence is a threat to the village's safety and traditions. But the villagers aren't the only ones with secrets. Deep within the bush, a dark force is stirring, one that threatens to destroy both the animal and human worlds. This ancient enemy, long thought to be nothing more than legend, will emerge, forcing the animals and villagers to put aside their differences and unite against a common foe. Keto carries a dark secret from his past, a betrayal that led to the downfall of another powerful beast in the bush. This secret, long buried, begins to surface as an old rival. Rafiki, the cunning leopard, returns, seeking revenge. Rafiki, who also has the power to transform into a human, infiltrates the village with one goal: to expose Keto's past treachery and take what he believes is rightfully his. Keto must now face the consequences of his actions, not only in the human world, but also in the wild. The villagers, already wary of him, begin to see cracks in his confident facade. Will Keto stand strong and face Rafiki, or will he fall under the weight of his own guilt and ambition? Zuri, always on the move, finds herself drawn into a web of deceit far greater than any she's spun before. A new character, Kamau, a mysterious traitor with connections to the underworld, arrives in the village. He recognizes Zuri for who she truly is and offers her a deal that could secure her a place of power in both the human and animal worlds, but at a steep price. Zuri must decide whether to stay loyal to her friends or take a risk that could change her life forever. But in a world of bargains and betrayals, can she really trust Kamau, or is she being played in a game she doesn't fully understand? Jabari is haunted by visions of the ancient enemy that stirs in the wild. These visions, which began as mere whispers in his dreams, grow stronger with each passing day. They show him a world in ruins, where the line between beast and human is erased and chaos reigns. Jabari knows that he must act to prevent this future, but he is torn between his duty to protect the village and his loyalty to his own kind. He seeks guidance from Naya, the village elder, who reveals a prophecy that foretells the rise of a great leader who will unite the two worlds. But is Jabari that leader, or is he merely a pawn in a much larger game? Amani's relationship with Mwangi deepens, but so do the challenges they face. As their love grows, so too does the suspicion of the villagers. Rumors begin to spread that Amani is not who she appears to be, fueled by the jealousy of Shani, a young villager who has always admired Mwangi from afar. Shani's envy drives her to uncover the truth about Amani, leading to a confrontation that could expose Amani's true identity. Amani must choose between revealing her secret and risking everything, or keeping it hidden and losing the one person she truly cares about. Will love be enough to overcome the prejudice and fear that surrounds them, or will their relationship be torn apart by the very thing that brought them together? As the story progresses, the dark force in the bush begins to take shape. Makali, an ancient spirit of the wild, long thought to be nothing more than a legend, awakens. Macaulay is a being of immense power, capable of bending both beasts and humans to his will. He sees the transformation of animals into humans as an abomination and vows to restore the natural order, even if it means destroying everything in his path. Macaulay's influence begins to spread through the bush and the village, sowing discord and fear. The animals feel the pull of their wild instincts growing stronger, making it harder for them to maintain their human forms. The villagers, too, are affected, becoming more suspicious and fearful of the newcomers in their midst. The fragile peace that Kido, Zuri, Jabari, and Amani have worked so hard to build is now under threat from a force far greater than any of them. But just when it seems like all hope is lost, an unexpected ally emerges from the shadows, Tumaini, the wise old tortoise. Unlike the others, Tumaini has lived through the rise and fall of countless kingdoms, both animal and human. His slow, deliberate movements disguise a mind sharp as any blade and a heart filled with knowledge of the ancient ways. He holds the key to defeating Macaulay, but his wisdom comes with a price. Tumaini reveals that the only way to stop Macaulay is through a ritual that requires both the strength of the animals and the unity of the village. The ritual, known as the Bond of the Wild and Tamed, is a dangerous and delicate process that can either seal the bond between the two worlds or shatter it forever. Tumaini warns that this ritual will test not only their physical endurance, but also their faith in one another. Each character must confront their deepest fears and make a sacrifice to ensure the survival of both worlds. Kido must let go of his pride and accept that true leadership comes from humility and the ability to listen, not just command. For Zuri, the challenge is to trust others fully and surrender control, something she has avoided her entire life. Jabari must reconcile his respect for tradition with the need for change, finding a way to honor the past while embracing the future. Amani's test is the hardest of all. She must choose between her love for Mwangi and her loyalty to her kind, knowing that whatever she decides will have lasting consequences. As the full moon rises, the time for the ritual approaches. The village, now a place of tension and fear, becomes the stage for the ultimate showdown. Macaulay senses the gathering power and sends his minions, shadowy creatures born from the darkest parts of the bush, to disrupt the ritual and plunge the world into chaos. The village and the bush are on the brink of a war that could destroy them both. In a stunning display of courage and unity, the animals and villagers come together to defend their home. Kido leads the charge, his roar echoing across the savannah, while Jabari uses his immense strength to hold back the tide of darkness. Zuri and Amani work together to protect the ritual site, their combined wit and grace outmaneuvering Macaulay's forces at every turn. The villagers, inspired by the bravery of their animal allies, join the fight, wielding their tools and traditions as weapons against the encroaching darkness. As the battle rages, Tumaini guides them through the final steps of the ritual. With each sacrifice, the bond between the wild and the tamed grows stronger. The air crackles with energy as the villagers and animals chant in unison, their voices merging into a powerful force that resonates through the earth. Just as Macaulay prepares to strike the final blow, the ritual reaches its climax. A blinding light erupts from the ritual site, enveloping the entire village and the surrounding bush. The shadowy creatures dissolve into nothingness, and Macaulay, caught in the light, is stripped of his power. His form shifts and warps, revealing the true nature of his spirit, a force of chaos that can only exist in the absence of balance. With Macaulay defeated, the light begins to fade, leaving behind a transformed world. The village and the bush, once separate and at odds, now stand as one. The animals find that they can no longer fully return to their wild forms, their time as humans having changed them forever. The villagers, too, have been altered, their eyes open to the magic and wonder of the world beyond their village walls. Kido, Zuri, Jabari, and Amani emerge from the battle as heroes, their bonds with each other, and the villagers stronger than ever. Tumaini, having fulfilled his role, quietly returns to the bush. The village elders, led by Chief Baraka, recognize the need for a new way of thinking. They declare a new era of cooperation between the villagers and the transformed animals. In the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, a woman named Adan, known for her remarkable voice but ostracized for her weight, struggles to find love and acceptance. The story revolves around her journey of self-discovery, family conflict, forbidden love, betrayal, and eventual redemption. Adan is introduced as a talented singer who is shunned by society and her family because of her weight. Despite her gift, she lives a lonely life, with only her music as her companion. Her father, Chief Okafor, is ashamed of Adan, believing her size brings dishonor to the family. Her mother, Kioma, is more compassionate but too weak to stand up to her husband. Adan meets a kind-hearted man, Emeka, who appreciates her for who she is. However, he's already betrothed to another woman, making their growing friendship and feelings taboo. Rumors spread about Adan and Emeka's closeness. The community and her family start to suspect something more than just friendship, putting Adan in a precarious position. Chief Okafor confronts Adan about her relationship with Emeka, warning her that any scandal will ruin their family's reputation. Adan is torn between her feelings for Emeka and her duty to her family. Adan and Emeka continue to meet in secret. Their bond deepens, but the fear of being caught looms over them. Adan starts to realize she has feelings for Emeka. Emeka proposes that they leave Lagos together and start a new life where they can be free from societal judgments. Adan is tempted but unsure if she can leave her family behind. Emeka's engagement to his betrothed, Nneka, is announced. Heartbroken, Adan decides to distance herself from him, believing their love was never meant to be. Adan's silence becomes her rebellion. She stops singing and isolates herself from the world. Her family is relieved, thinking she's finally accepted her place, but inside, she's drowning in sorrow. A mysterious stranger, an elderly woman named Mama Ijoma, offers Adan an opportunity to reclaim her voice and her life. She teaches Adan that her worth is not tied to her appearance. Adan begins singing again, this time with more passion and purpose. Her voice becomes a symbol of resistance against the oppressive standards of beauty and love. Emeka returns to Adan, confessing that he cannot marry Nneka because his heart belongs to her. Adan is conflicted but agrees to give their love a chance. When Chief Okafor learns of Adan's reunion with Emeka, he explodes with rage, disowning her and cutting her off from the family. Adan is devastated but determined to live her life on her own terms. Adan and Emeka marry in a small, secret ceremony. Despite the modesty of the event, it's a joyous occasion, symbolizing their defiance against societal norms. Nneka, bitter and vengeful, discovers the secret wedding and informs Adan's family, hoping to ruin her happiness. She also spreads rumors throughout Lagos, turning public opinion against Adan and Emeka. The Okafor family is shamed publicly. Chief Okafor's business suffers and their social standing is tarnished. He blames Adan for everything, worsening their estrangement. Adan uses her voice to fight back, performing a powerful song at a public event that calls out the hypocrisy and cruelty of society. The performance is a turning point, garnering her both admiration and scorn. Tensions between Adan and her family grow as they refuse to forgive her. The community is divided, with some supporting Adan's boldness while others condemn her. Adan discovers she's pregnant. While this should be a time of joy, it's clouded by fear. She worries about how her child will be treated in a world that has rejected her. Kioma secretly visits Adan, begging her to return home and make peace with her father. Adan is torn between her love for her mother and her need to live independently. Adan's pregnancy becomes public knowledge, leading to further backlash from the community. She faces harassment and isolation, but Emeka stands by her side. Kioma arranges a meeting between Adan and her father, hoping for reconciliation. The meeting is tense, with Chief Okafor still harboring anger, but there's a glimmer of hope as he shows signs of softening. Adan gives birth to a daughter, Hope. The birth symbolizes a new beginning for Adan, who vows to raise her daughter in a world where she will be loved and accepted for who she is. Mama Ijeoma returns, offering wisdom and guidance to Adan as she navigates motherhood. She helps Adan understand that her journey is far from over and that she must continue to fight for her place in the world. Chief Okafor, realizing the error of his ways, makes a public apology to Adan. The gesture is a major turning point, but their relationship remains strained. Adan, Emeka, and their daughter move to a new part of Lagos, where they start fresh. The move symbolizes a new chapter in their lives, away from the shadows of their past. Adan's music career takes off as her songs of love, pain, and defiance resonate with people across Nigeria. She becomes a symbol of strength and resilience. Nneka, now regretful of her actions, approaches Adan with an offer to help her succeed in the music industry. Adan is wary but agrees to work with her, showing her capacity for forgiveness. Adan is invited to perform at a major cultural festival in Lagos. This performance is crucial, as it will either solidify her place in society or push her further into the margins. After years of estrangement, Adan's family attends the festival. The event is tense, but there's a sense that healing might finally be possible. It's revealed that a close family friend was behind many of the rumors and schemes against Adan. The betrayal shakes the family, but it also brings them closer as they unite against a common enemy. Slowly, the community begins to accept Adan and her family.
In a small village in Yoruba land, there lived a hunter named Adebayo. He was known for his bravery and skill. Every day, Adebayo went deep into the forest to hunt for food. The forest was thick and dark, and many people feared it. They believed that spirits lived there. One evening, as the sun was setting, Adebayo decided to go hunting. He walked deeper and deeper into the forest, looking for animals. The trees were tall and the air was cool. He could hear the sounds of birds and insects. Suddenly, Adebayo heard a strange noise. It was not the sound of any animal he knew. It was a low, humming sound, like a song. He followed the sound, curious to find out what it was. As he walked, the forest became darker. The trees seemed to close in around him. He saw a faint light in the distance and moved towards it. When he got closer, he saw a figure sitting on a rock. It was a man, but not like any man Adebayo had seen before. His skin was dark and shiny, and his eyes glowed in the dim light. "Who are you?" Adebayo asked, trying to keep his voice steady. The man looked up and smiled. "I am a spirit of the forest," he said. "I have watched you for many years, Adebayo. You are a brave hunter." Adebayo felt a chill run down his spine. He had heard stories about forest spirits, but he had never believed them. Now, here was one, right in front of him. The spirit stood up. "Do not be afraid," he said. "I mean you no harm, but you must listen to me. The forest is in danger. A great evil is coming, and only you can stop it." Adebayo was confused. "What can I do?" he asked. The spirit pointed to a large tree. "There is a powerful charm hidden under that tree," he said. "It can protect the forest. You must find it and use it." Without thinking, Adebayo ran to the tree. He dug into the ground with his bare hands. After a few minutes, he found a small carved stone. It was the charm. He held it up and looked back at the spirit. "What do I do now?" he asked. The spirit smiled again. "Keep it safe," he said. "Use it when the time comes. You will know what to do." With that, the spirit disappeared into the shadows. Adebayo stood there, holding the charm. The forest was quiet again. He felt a strange sense of calm. From that day on, Adebayo carried the charm with him. He never told anyone about his encounter with the spirit. He continued to hunt in the forest, always watching for signs of the great evil the spirit had warned him about. Years passed, and the village remained safe. Adebayo grew old, but he never forgot the night he met the forest spirit. And though he never had to use the charm, he kept it close, knowing that he was the guardian of the forest. And so, the legend of Adebayo, the brave hunter, lived on, reminding everyone that sometimes the scariest tales are the ones that bring us the greatest courage. As the years went by, Adebayo's legend spread far and wide. People from neighboring villages would come to hear his stories. Though Adebayo never revealed the full truth about his encounter with the forest spirit, he always emphasized the importance of respecting the forest and its mysteries. One fateful night, many years later, Adebayo was sitting by the fire in his small hut. He was now an old man, with gray hair and wrinkles that told the story of his life. As he stared into the flames, he heard a familiar sound, the same low humming song he had heard in the forest so many years ago. His heart raced as he grabbed his walking stick and the charm he had kept hidden all these years. He knew the time had come. The great evil the spirit had warned him about was near. Adebayo left his hut and walked into the forest, guided by the sound. The night was dark and the air was thick with tension. As he ventured deeper into the forest, he noticed that the animals were silent. Not a single bird sang, and even the insects had ceased their usual chorus. Suddenly, he saw a flickering light ahead. He moved towards it and found himself in a clearing. In the center stood a massive, twisted tree, much larger than any tree he had ever seen. The light seemed to emanate from the tree itself, casting eerie shadows all around. From behind the tree emerged a figure cloaked in darkness. Its eyes glowed a fiery red, and its presence exuded a malevolent energy. Adebayo knew instantly that this was the great evil the spirit had spoken of. The creature spoke in a voice that echoed through the forest. "I have waited many years for this moment, old hunter. The forest belongs to me now." Adebayo clutched the charm tightly in his hand. He felt a surge of strength and courage. "The forest belongs to no one," he said firmly. "It is a place of life and balance, and I will protect it." With those words, Adebayo raised the charm. It glowed with a bright, pure light, illuminating the clearing. The creature recoiled, hissing and writhing in pain. Summoning all his strength, Adebayo began to chant words he had never spoken before. The charm's light grew brighter, and the ground beneath the creature began to tremble. The twisted tree cracked and groaned as if in agony. The creature let out a final, ear-piercing scream before dissolving into shadows, vanishing into the night. The twisted tree collapsed, its dark energy dissipating into the air. The forest seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The animals began to stir, and the night returned to its usual symphony of sounds. Adebayo, exhausted but victorious, knew that the forest was safe.